Welcome to the Pool Nation podcast, where it's all pool talk. And we ain't talking about netting and jetting or splashing and dashing. We're talking about becoming a nation of pool pros. We talk about the latest products, trends, and training in the pool industry. Now let's welcome your host, with over a decade of industry insider experience and still the reigning champion of Marco Polo, Edgar De Jesus, and his co-host, John JJ Flawless, the fastest netter in the West, and Zach the Pool Boy Nicholas.
Welcome, everyone, to the Pool Nation Live podcast. I am your host, Edgar De Jesus, and yes, I am the reigning champion of Marco Polo, along with John J.J. Flawless, the fastest netter in the West, and the famous Zach, the Pool Boy Nicholas. Today, we're talking about the Pool Nation boot camp that just happened. Wow, already? Oh, man, for everybody listening, Zach is on video over here, and he is eating all the Mike and Ikes that I dropped at the show, and we'll talk about that. Anyways, I want to welcome everyone to our live podcast, the podcast where it's all pool talk, and we ain't talking about netting and jetting or splashing and dashing. We're talking about becoming a nation of pool pros. And yes, we will talk about the latest products, trends, and training in the pool industry. But before we get started today, I want to thank our sponsors for this podcast, Ultimate Pool Tools, the SPPA, Blueray XL, AquaStar Pool Products, Natural Chemistry, Raypak, and Heritage Pool Supply. We want to thank them for their continued support. Mr. Zacharias, how are you?
Doing good. I'm rested and ready to go. Had a great weekend.
That's it? That's all you got?
That's all I got.
Wow. That's just wow.
We need John.
Yeah, obviously we need John here because that was terrible. That was probably by far
I'll work
your
on
worst.
it.
Yeah, so you need to work on that. Benny's asking over here, where is the flawless skincare guy? Dave, big shout out to you. Mr. Todd from Todd's Pool Service, the pool assassin. What's going on? And Dave is saying, I want some Mike and Ikes. So, Dave, you don't want those because those are the ones that I opened up at the event and I dropped all over the floor. So just to let you know, Dave, what happened was everybody was in the class and I was standing next to the class and I was trying to open these candies to put on the table. And they grabbed the bag of Mike and Ike and I ripped it and they went flying everywhere. And Dave, I am not kidding. Like everybody in the classroom just stopped and the instructor stopped and they all stopped and turned over and looked at me.
Dude, I'm so sick of Mike and Ike's.
It felt like in high school or middle school when you're afraid that something's going to happen and you say something or do something in the classroom and all eyes are on you and you're in shock. That's exactly what went down. It was not good. That's all you got, Mr. Zach? Tell me a little bit about, is everything back? You put everything back together? Because we left a big mess down there after the boot camp.
It actually hasn't been that bad. Everyone did a good job of keeping the place clean. There wasn't like trash everywhere, and I'm super thankful for that. And then we had the 4Js stay back, and that saved my bacon right there. So it's just been a lot of moving things, putting things back together. And then honestly, believe it or not, the biggest problem that I've run into is that I taped those rugs down in the shop and the heat melted the adhesive. So when we pulled the tape off, it just left all this thick, sticky adhesive on there. And those are rentals. So I've literally been just every day going out there with scrub pad and some Goo Gone and laying on the rug in the warehouse and just 1 inch at a time scrubbing off adhesive. And thankfully it's coming off because probably cost $700 for all those rugs if I had to pay for them. But that has literally been the biggest hiccup.
And it was, the humidity down there was terrible. And it was atrocious. It was god awful. I drove down there and I got out of the truck and I was like, wow, it was pretty bad. But
yeah, it's different.
Yeah. And we'll talk about it. But man, your ACs were just running like nonstop. I'm afraid a little bit to see that electric bill.
Yeah, I think it's on auto pay and I'm just not even going to look at it. So
that's the best thing for you to do, Zach, because how many tons of air conditioner do you have in there? Like 11 tons?
11 3/4. We basically had 12 tons of air cranking almost 24/7 for probably 4 days straight, getting ready and everything.
And then on top of that, the 3 units that you rented,
Yeah, so that's including the 3 units, and those babies were pumping, and
Those were lifesavers.
yeah, those things were awesome.
Yeah, those were lifesavers. There was a lot of people that were going, man, I should buy some of these for my house.
And not only were they awesome, they looked awesome. I
Yeah.
couldn't believe they actually matched. So
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. Let's see here. I'd love to have a boot camp in Florida. Yeah, definitely. That's starting to be, Dave, in the books of what we're looking at. So we'll talk about that a little bit today. Big shout out over here to Jeanette for jumping on here. And Jeanette, she was part of one of the 4Js. We got to give you a big, huge shout out for staying late. I can't believe you drove that late. That freaked me out a little bit because that was Saturday. And so Friday, we did the classes and then we did the boot camp on Saturday. And then Saturday night, we really started to clear everything up. And then Jeanette stayed, Jordan stayed, and Justin stayed to help. So we had to do a podcast. So we did the podcast. It was the podcast with the cricket. And then we went out to eat and we're sitting there. What time was it, Zach? It was close to 10 o'clock at night by the time we were getting some to eat.
yeah, it was late.
And then she's like, oh, I got to drive back. And I'm like, whoa. That's like a 4-hour drive. And she didn't make it back to like 3:45 in the morning. So I do not know, Jeanette, how you did that. That's just absolutely crazy. Anyways, before we jump in and we get started today, there's a couple things that I want to talk about really quick. And that is the Pool Nation nomination event, and that's going to take place on September 6th. Basically, it'll take over our Instagram live. So it's 6 Pacific, 8 Central, 9 Eastern. We'll do our live and we will announce the nominations for the 2023 Pool Nation Awards. So you're going to want to tune in. What we've had to do in the meantime, and we're actually going to do that this week, we had several categories. We had 17, 18, 19 nominees for the categories. And unfortunately, we can't have that many for each category. On some of these categories, what we're doing is we're doing a voting to be able to bring them down to about 8. And what we've done is we've reached out to a core group of pool pros and some educators and stuff like that. And so they'll be voting on those lists and bringing them down to about 8. So we have a little bit of a scramble, Zach, because we've got the women's event, which is going to be Thursday and Friday. We'll talk about that. And then we have 1 week, and then the week after that is the nomination event. I want to thank everybody that submitted nominations for the Pool Nation Award. We got bombarded this year, which is great. And that's exactly what we want to see. We want to see everybody nominating out there and doing all that. So the other thing that I want to talk about is that the next boot camp, the registration is open. And that's going to take place in Las Vegas at the International Pool and Spa Show. And the boot camp is actually going to be on Sunday, the 12th. And up there, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. And that is, we're going to be having 4 classes. So we are going to do the pump class. We're going to do the automation. We're going to do a heater class with Raypak. And we're also going to do a salt system class with Raypak. Here's what's going to happen. So far, we are only going to take the first 80. And we already have 20 people registered. And registration just opened. So if you're planning on wanting to do that boot camp, what I suggest is one of 2 things. One is that you go to the poolspapatio.com website and register. And what you're going to want to do is you could go under education, specialty education, and then you'll be able to register there. The boot camp is free. There's no cost to the boot camp. So you don't have to get the super pass or any of those. The boot camp is free. What you're going to want to do is register for just a regular floor pass, and you could use the code POOLNATION, all caps, and that'll give you the free pass, which I think is $55 or $60. So you'll be able to get that for free. And then what you'll be able to do is register for the Pool Nation boot camp and get that right there. If for some reason you have an issue with that registration, just send me an email at info@poolnationpodcast, and I'll reach back out to you and we'll kind of get that solved. But I will tell you this, we're down to 60 spots and they just opened registration on Monday. So anybody that wants to go, you're going to want to jump. You're going to want to get those spots. These filled up very quickly. And I think Vegas is going to be just the same, that they're going to go pretty quick.
And this is so essentially with the Pool Nation code and the free camp, you could attend the thing for nothing.
It's absolutely 100% free. So yes. So with the Pool Nation code, all caps, it has to be all caps. it'll give you a pass for the floor, and that's free. And then our boot camp is free. So you'll be able to go into specialty training or education. And then I think there's 3 buttons. Looks because it's right in the middle. So all the buttons are blue. So it looks like it's all just one thing. But look, it's right underneath. It's the second one in the middle. And you can see on there, Pool Nation Boot Camp. Click on it and it'll allow you to register. But again, if you have any issues with it whatsoever, info at Pool Nation Podcast.
And make sure you do it because it's first come, first serve. And when we opened up registration for the one we just had here, it went quick. I was shocked at how fast it went. So if it's something you're thinking about attending, I would go ahead and jump on that.
Absolutely. And then the last thing that I want to talk about is, boy, this has taken me a little bit to learn how to speak with this thing on. So I got that Invisalign with all the drama with my tooth being pulled and all that kind of stuff. So this is a little awkward. I'm sure Corey is going to make fun of me with the lisp and all that kind of stuff. Corey, go ahead. Just throw it out there. Let's just get it out of the way and just get the bashing out. The last thing that I want to talk about is the Pool Nation Award tickets. And those are open now as well. If you're going to go to the Pool Nation Awards, you're going to want to book those tickets. The tickets for the HASA Pool Nation after party are open as well. Now, I will tell you, in order for you to attend the after party, you do have to go to the Pool Nation Awards. That's the only way that you can get the tickets. And that party is going to be at the Conrad Hotel, which is right across Lounge 66 on the 6th floor. All right. So here comes Benny saying something. Edgar, you can finally have a real Southern accent with that lisp. I knew it wasn't going to take long. I knew we had somebody that would step up their game. So I appreciate that, Benny. So if you're going to go to the awards, go ahead and book those, get those locked in so you can attend the awards. Looking forward to that.
I need to take a moment and jump in. And I do want to give a big thanks and a big shout out to SEP and our SCP reps here for the Pool Boys because they took care of us with lunch on Friday and breakfast on Saturday. And it was a last minute, short notice, giving them a call. And they were just happy to jump in and so happy to do so. Big thank you to Steven, his My BDR, and Todd and Brian and Jonathan. They came, they attended, they hung out. So big thanks to you guys.
Yeah, big thanks to them. They were absolutely amazing. And they managed the tables and the lunch and the breakfast, and they served and they stuck around. It was the first time I met them. So it was great meeting them and meeting the team down there. So we really want to thank them for that. That was absolutely huge. So Zach, is the Pool Boys back in working order? Are the desks all back up? Are the tables back out? Is a conference room set up again or not yet? You still...
No, the conference table is in about 6 pieces right in front of me here, leaning on the wall. We're close. I told the team that let's get back to work and get going on that. And then we can put the place back together kind of day by day. And everyone's been pitching in, and Aubrey's been, on any downtime she has, she's putting things back together. So slowly but surely, probably in the next week or so, we'll be back together in here. And our blinds came in today. So just in time for the event.
You spend all that money, a couple $1,000 just for all that, and then they show up after
the curtains actually turned out pretty legit. I think the curtains were better than the blinds or the roller screens or whatever. So it worked out for the best.
It was awesome. Now, I do have to thank everybody there, Zach, the entire team. Everybody was just absolutely amazing. We went in there and we tore the place apart. We made you take down desks, conference tables, like completely empty up that space. Your office looked like a war zone. It was a storage room is what it was. That was not an office.
That's not really different than any other normal day, though. So.
Anyways, and your entire team was just very welcoming, and they were absolutely awesome with everything. And anything that I needed, they jumped and they helped. Big shout out to you, Zach. I know that for you was about 3 weeks of your time that you're probably never going to get back.
Yeah, it was a lot, but it was a really good experience for me. It was something I've never really been through. I've watched you do it, and I've been helping out and things like that. And it gives you a new respect for the people that are putting on these bigger shows. This was nothing size-wise compared to what these conventions are. And there was a lot that went into this. Like my parking situation here and trying to figure out a solution for that. And it's like listening to some of the people that put on these shows talk about shuttles and putting things together and things like I just, that piece alone would be crazy to have to deal with. So we've all been prepping on this for weeks, and I'm happy to have the experience now because I have a better idea of what this looks like or how to put another event together in the future. And the team, they killed it. And they did a lot of extra work to get ready for this. And they picked up a lot of extra pools during the week so that we could close down on Friday. And they all had good attitude about it. They were ready. And we had a couple talks about, hey guys, we're inviting people here into our home. Let's be good hosts and let's help them. And I mean, they were all taking trash out, putting new trash bags in, serving drinks. Leo was back there putting drinks in ice and getting bags of ice and showing people around. I was touched because they all jumped to it without me having to really say anything, which was just so awesome to see. Sometimes you question yourself as a leader or what you're doing. Is it effective? And they got great people.
Yeah, they absolutely killed it. And like you said, they saw that the drinks were low. They jump in there and restock and do all that. They were very welcoming to everybody. So it was great to see. Super, super excited. So let me ask you, and you and I haven't really talked. Sunday you were burnt out and fried. And then Monday was just back into the grind. And I'm getting ready for the women's networking event that's going to happen this Thursday, Friday. I had the photographer canceled today. So I was scrambling and lining all that up and was able to figure that out. But what was your overall thought of the event?
To be honest, I don't think it could have went any better. It's really hard to picture the end result as you're getting ready for it. We were just talking about the roller screens versus the curtains, and the curtains were a last minute ditch effort to block out some of the heat and the sun, and they came together and it just really made the room look nice and everything. And there wasn't really any hangups, minus the alarm. That got a little sketchy there for a minute.
The alarm got activated and we couldn't turn it off. We couldn't let anybody in or out.
It got armed, not activated, armed. And I was a little stressed there for a minute, but we got that figured out. Just overall, it was a really nice event. And I had a great time just interacting with everyone and seeing everyone participate. Everyone was really into it. They were really engaged. I even got down on one of the pumps and was doing some wiring and things like that. And it was really cool to see the team getting really involved and hands-on. And I just thought it was a really good time. And then the feedback that we've gotten and the team just talking about it and how they enjoyed it or what they learned or which instructor really hit a nerve with them on chemistry or borates or whatever. I thought it went really well.
Yeah, I think it went really well. A lot of preparation, a lot of moving parts for it. And like you said, look at those big events. And for us, it was just us. We knew. So you go to one of these conventions and they have thousands of vendors and every exhibitor has its unique requirements. I want to do two things. One, I know we are going to forget to thank some people. So if we forget to mention you by name or to acknowledge you, please forgive us, but understand that we are 100% grateful for every single person that showed up at that boot camp. Every single person was just positive. They were full of energy. They were about helping. There was a lot of pool pros that were experienced and saw some of the other pool pros that are new, kind of struggling a little bit. They jumped in, they helped, whether it was the pump seals. And I saw that at one point that there was 3 or 4 and a couple more people came over to help with the pump seals and stuff like that with the wiring. So if we forget to say your name, please forgive us. I do want to thank Justin, your partner, because he was absolutely freaking gold. He jumped in and helped train some of the people on the pumps. And what ended up happening is there was so many people and everybody's wanting to talk to the instructors and everybody's wanting to talk. So what would happen is one instructor would get pulled by the side being asked a certain question. And then we would have that person that was training, doing the wiring, doing the variable speed pump. And Justin just stepped in, jumped in, and was walking the new pool pros through all that. Anything that we needed ice at some point, he's like, got it, jumped in the truck, took off. He was just absolutely amazing. So Justin, big shout out to you. By the way, I hope that you enjoyed the Smarties that I left in your office.
Yeah, he just walked in and started shaking his head. Justin's amazing, and we've had a great time working together. We've been friends since a young age, and we work really well together because we're two completely different people. I'm more vocal, and even though I'm an introvert, I'm more the one that's talking more, and he's very quiet and reserved. He's actually really funny if you get to have some conversations with him. But he's always been someone that always loves to help other people. If anyone in the area calls, they need help, they need to learn how to change a seal or do something, like he never hesitates to go help or take that call. So he's just a really good guy.
Yeah, Justin, thanks for everything that you did out there. That was absolutely amazing. And it obviously helped in a lot of pinches that we had to. So, all right, let's break down the events because we obviously did the Friday, we did the Saturday, we did the Friday evening event. That was Chris. I thought that was funny, but it worked out really well. Let's talk a little bit about Friday. Tell everybody what we did on Friday and what were your thoughts about Friday?
Yeah, so Friday was the classroom style, or the instructor teaching chemistry. And I liked the fact that it was started with basic water chemistry and then progressed from there. And I think a lot of people get it in their head that, oh, I've taken basic water chemistry, or I've been doing this for so long, I don't need to go through that. But every time I listen to Terry or any other chemistry class that may be more on a beginner level, I always learn something. And that's my big thing that's always worked for me, is if I can go take a training and I can walk away with one new piece of information, then it's a win in my book. Yeah, Friday, we did breakfast. Everyone came in. We did the trainings. We had a great lunch. Was awesome. I don't know how many of the little sandwiches I ate. Yeah, and then we finished the day out, and then we did Chris's thing, which I'm sure we'll get into that.
That was so last minute and random, but it worked out really well.
Yeah.
I think, first of all, when everybody walked into the classroom, Hayward stepped up their game, and they had backpacks for everybody, and they had the Klein screwdrivers, and they had water bottles and all that. So every chair had one. I thought that was great. I thought the instructors, Terry was just absolutely amazing on the classes. You could tell that he was having a great time, right? It wasn't just your standard class where you're just going through the motions. It was very interactive. He was asking a lot of questions. John, in typical fashion, jumped in to teach his class and never finished because he went too long.
You made me leave. I was excited. You pulled me out of there. I didn't get to see it.
Yeah, I was sitting there joking, going, if John finishes his class in 30 minutes, I'm going to be so upset. I'm going to take it personal. I started going, time to John, and he's, oh, we got 5 minutes left. And then I'm going like this to John, time's up. And he's, I'm going 5 more minutes. I'm taking 5 more minutes. Like, he just wasn't giving up. But it got to the point where we just ran out of time. It's on the Pullman University app, so people can go and do it. I think the salt system class was a great class. I think the ozone class that Steve did was phenomenal. And then the next level water chemistry class that Terry did was great. And I think it was great, just exactly like you're saying. It was almost like chronological, right? We started at that basic water chemistry and work all the way through. I definitely think that in those hour and 45-minute classes, we have to have a little bit of a break, maybe 50 minutes in. What do you think?
Yeah, I would say so. Because me personally, I am a terrible student. Like, all through school, I have a really hard time sitting still and not wanting to get up and walk around. I'm sure a lot of the techs out there feel the same way. So I think a break would be good. And I want to circle back to what you were saying about Terry and really being in the zone. And that was something cool to watch, is that the instructors were all very engaged, really engaging the class. And the questions were going back and forth, and the answers is really interactive. And I love to see that.
Yeah, that's one thing that I did notice that happened a lot. It was very interactive. It was a lot of the going back and forth. And that's what you want to see, right? I think that's a little bit challenging when you have 200, 250 people in a classroom. There's just too many. But that's the part of what we want to do at the boot camps, where it's a little bit smaller, it's a little bit more intimate, and it allows for that and allows for you to be able to ask those questions. And again, we preface at the beginning, hey, this is a safe space. Here you're allowed to ask any question whatsoever. You're not going to get bashed. You're not going to get ridiculed. This is what they're for. So I love the Friday. And then Friday night, we were trying to figure out, oh my God, what are we going to do? We needed to flip the room. We needed to get AquaStar set up. And Chris comes over and he goes, hey, let's go bowling. And I'm like, wow, that was random, right? Bowling, that's random. Like, when am I in high school again? And we're going to go bowling. And then he's like, let's go to main event. And then you should have seen Zach, because my wife called me. She goes, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm at main event. And she's like, what? You're where? And I'm like, main event. She's like, what are you doing at main event?
So funny. Chris came in. I guess I didn't think about main event on a Friday night at 7:30, and it's all crowded and people coming in. But thinking about it, I don't know that we could have found a better venue, because we were able to get some big tables together, sit by the pool tables. People were playing pool, getting to eat food, and just have those conversations. And when you get a bigger group like that, it's really hard to find somewhere that everyone can attend and participate. And you're not, even at Rudy's, we weren't able to get a big table. And so we were all sectioned off at the little tables, and it just takes away from the whole hangout.
Yeah. And we had the big long tables right there. There was 3 pool tables next to us. People were able to play pool. And a big shout out to everybody that went. Here's where, if I forget your name, forgive me, please. You had Chad with his guys. You had Brett and his wife. You had Alex. You had Francisco. You had Andrew. You had Jordan. You had Jeanette. Terry was there. Anna was there. Who else was there? Michael was there.
MJ
was there. I know we're going to... Justin was there. See, that's the scary... Kristen, that's right. See? Everybody that was there, just big shout out. Chris's guys were there. Everybody was out there. Yeah, it was definitely a great time, just being able to do what we like to do, and that's get together and share war stories and have a good time. And people had drinks and people ate. We just all hung out and had a great time. So Chris, good call, man. I agree. I don't think there would have been a better venue for us to be able to go to.
And I was geeking out with Terry. I'm sure he's like, please just leave me alone about pools and let me eat my dinner.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Zach, let's do this. We've been talking for about 32 minutes now. Let's take a word from our sponsors. When we come back, let's continue our conversation.
The Hyper Pole from Ultimate Pool Tools is a pool care pole designed by pool professionals for pool professionals, featuring precision-crafted carbon fiber and stainless steel construction. Go to ultimatepooltools.com or Instagram at Ultimate Pool Tools. Pool pros have specific needs when it comes to general liability insurance. The SPPA program has you covered. With 3 tailored and customizable general liability options, SPPA makes it easy for pool pros to feel secure. Find out more and get covered at thesppa.com. Now available, Pool Invoice. Pool Invoice is a pool billing software created specifically for the pool service and repair industry. It's developed for our industry and only our industry. Pool Invoice is built with recurring billing in mind. You can print, email, text invoices, or even send via WhatsApp. You can add reoccurring or yearly charges, accept credits, and set up autopay. You can even see when customers have seen the invoice. It even has a customer portal where they can log in and see, print, and pay invoices. It has all your customers' information on one page, so you don't need to search through hundreds of invoices looking for the one you need. Just go to the customer profile and it's all at your fingertips. Created specifically for the pool industry, Pool Invoice. Now available at poolinvoice.com. Blueray XL is the power of minerals working for you. Reduce your overall chemical costs and labor up to 50% guaranteed. Whether you have 20 accounts or 20,000, Blueray XL's direct pricing and free shipping to the pool trade have you covered. Improving pool professionals' profit and work-life balance is what they do. Blueray XL, the real mineral purifier. Visit them at BlueRayXL.com.
Blueray all day.
AquaStar's new pipeline cartridge filters, available in 2 sizes, deliver top-notch hydraulic efficiency along with best-in-class filtration performance, approaching that of DE filters. Uniquely designed, open pleat spacing means 100% of the media square footage is usable, and these claims are backed by NSF test results. Designed with the pro's time and comfort in mind, the patented double locking system improves safety and ease of access, making filter cleaners faster than ever before. Available now. Ask your supplier for pipeline filters today.
Natural Chemistry, a leader in specialty water care solutions for over 30 years, is proud to provide products that make pool service easier than ever before. Its unique enzyme formulations in Pro Series Pro Blend improve efficiency of your pool program while reducing frequency of filter cleaning and scum lines. Natural Chemistry is also well known for its wide variety of phosphate removal solutions that include a non-clouding formula in Phos-Free and extremely high-range removal with Pro Series Phos Remove or Phos-Free Max. Save time, save money, save work with Pro Series products. Stop sacrificing durability or efficiency with the help of Raypak's new Avia HD models that utilize NITEC, their exclusive industry-first technology. NITEC heat exchanger technology is Raypak's latest solution to superior strength and maximum efficiency when it comes to residential pool heating. With 900% more nickel compared to copper nickel in critical surfaces, NITEC creates an ideal surface to protect against scale formation and erosion without compromising on Avia's 84% thermal efficiency. Learn more at raypak.com/NITEC.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Pool Nation Live podcast. We are talking to Mr. Zacharias over here. He just made it back just in the nick of time. So, Michael, big shout out to you out there. Michael just sent us a message saying, hey, still grinding away, but now I'm listening while I work. And a big thanks to him because he helped out during the boot camp a lot. So definitely out there. And then Mr. Reyes Conde, how are you? See you in Vegas, Maestro, he says. And I am super excited that you are going to Vegas. Let me know if you've registered for the Pool Nation Boot Camp in Las Vegas. If not, you have my number. Send me a message, send me a text, and let's get you set up to be able to take that boot camp. And Mr. Matt Mann has just jumped on. What's going on? I was actually surprised a little bit that Matt Mann did not jump on. Oh my God, was that John trying to jump in on the podcast? John, are you trying to jump on the podcast? No.
Bring him in.
John, is that you? He's got his camera off. Oh, there he is. 1 second. Look at who's there. What's up, brother?
What's up?
Doesn't look like a hurricane.
I do, right? I look like a hot mess right now.
Dude, you look like a lumberjack that just came out from finishing his day of lumberjacking and fixing his truck.
Oh my God, what a day.
Oh my God, that is crazy. Hey, Dave, just registered for Las Vegas with the Pool Nation code. Awesome. So Dave, let us know if you're going to the boot camp. Super excited that you're going out there. So, John, tell us a little bit about what's going out in California.
What's not going on?
Matt is saying that you just got back from Viking practice.
That's what it feels like, right? Look at me, dude. I'm like cherry red. It looked like I got thrown out of an airplane. It's been quite the experience. We've never had a hurricane or hurricane-type weather or a tropical storm in our area. We live in a desert that gets less than an inch of rain a year. And we got hit with 5 or 6 inches of rain in one day. Needless to say, we got a lot of interesting backyards that we have to tend to. And it's been quite the ride. But overall, we're caught up. We got every single pool. I think we're only behind on one pool. And we're still on schedule to fly out tomorrow to Texas. So I think life is good considering. But I've been working bell to bell. As you can see, I just literally walked into the door right now. And I took off my shirt and came outside to smoke a cigarette and then said, hey, where are the boys at real quick? And let me jump onto the live. I figured I'd crash it real quick. I don't even know what we're talking about, what we're doing, but I'm here. Let's go.
You're there. Let's go. For everybody that's listening, John just jumped on, which I'm actually surprised that you had the link from last time.
I know. That's what I said. I go, look, you never sent me the link. And I go, but I remembered on the new restream that the same link works on all of them. So I do pay attention sometimes.
So everybody listening, he's actually out in the backyard. We can hear what is that, crickets?
It's rattlesnakes. They climb in the trees when it gets too hot out there.
Look at
it's
that.
green.
Your pool's green?
It was green on Monday, dude. It was wrecked.
Not the pool. All the plants. Everything's green.
The pool was green.
Oh, man. Yep. Jeanette is saying that Jimmy's back.
Jimmy?
Yeah, Jiminy Cricket. So Zach and I did a podcast.
I listened to it this morning. It was
Did you?
hilarious.
And it was literally like right next to Zach. And Jordan would come over and hit on the vent thing and it wouldn't go quiet. It didn't matter what he did. We were cracking up.
Dude, and I'm like sleep drunk. And I need my notes, and I don't have any notes. And Edgar keeps going over to the vent and messing with it and turning the thermostat up and down. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, what a train wreck.
So let's see here. Just pressure wash the worst black algae I've ever dealt with. Gross. That was David. And Mr. Matt Mann out here is saying Tropical Cyclone 2023. Let's see. Can we get a straight answer of what the attire is for the awards? Yes. That's tough, but that's a good one. Oh, man, he put me in a tough spot. So, Mr. Matt Mann, this year we are going to be very strict with the attire because here's what we're going to do, Mr. Matt Mann, is we are going to send out messages to everybody before the awards. Minimum for men, they have to have a jacket. They have to have a suit and tie. Tuxedo is preferred, so most of us will go in tuxedos. But there is no casual clothes in order to be able to get into the awards, because I think we're in year 3 and Matt Mann is very proud of that and wants to make sure that we keep that on track. So Mr. Matt Mann, it's for you. Needs to be able to hide a metal detector and taser.
I think we need to do like a time thing, like 1800s or freaking 1700s dress, and we'll all wear the white hair and formal.
Now you're going a little too extreme, my friend. So
let's make it fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Mr. Corey Wax, hello out there, my friend. Hey, Corey, are you going to, you have to go to the awards because you have to pass on the baton to the next sales rep of the year. So are you going up there? I'm sure you are. Let's see here. Crystal Lux Pools, Pool Nation, what's going on? A big shout out there. Glad to see you on here. And then Michael saying that sounds like fun, dress up like that. So you're starting to worm me a little bit there, Zach, with regards to the whole dressing up thing that you got going on.
Renaissance.
Renaissance. John, I think, took a pause. Knowing him is probably trying to fix his audio and stuff like that. So let me ask you. So we talked about Friday, which I think was awesome. And then we go into Saturday. I want to talk first about the AquaStar setup because Steve made these custom made carts that I think are gold. He completely knocked it out of the park. And here's what I'm seeing from Steve Barnes, which, by the way, Steve, we absolutely 100% love you, brother. He went back. We talked about the education. We talked about the things that we wanted to teach in these classes, and he knocked it out of the park. They created these carts on wheels. Do you want me to describe the pump cart or do you want to talk about it?
They were legit. And all I can think about is I'm like, that was some fine craftsmanship and engineering there by Steve. And I'm like, man, how cool would it be to have a cleaner repair cart? And he had it all rigged out with things and attachments. And there were 4 different styles. You had the programming ones, they were beautiful. Like they were really cool and they were industrial and heavy duty. And then we had the wiring one, which is super cool, which had the pump on it. And it had a time clock mounted to it, a breaker sub panel, and then a low voltage comm wire box. And then he had these rolls of wire. That was the coolest thing on top. These big spools of wire mounted, and we were able to feed the wire into the conduit and cut it and make our whips and then wire them up. And then the pump seal one. And the way it was designed was to imitate that reality in the field that, no, you're not going to have a cart with a pump sitting at perfect height to just sit there and work on it. Like you've got to get down on your knees and get down there and remove the motor and the seal plate and everything from the housing, and then you can pull it up on top of the table and you can start to work on changing your seal. So those were awesome.
Yeah, they were absolutely. And again, when I talked to them, they listened to every little thing when we talked about the education, because one of the things that I talked about is I want there to be all the different colors of wires and things like that so that we could talk to people and walk them through. When you're a new pool pro, you're always taught, okay, it's black and red, but you go out to the field and sometimes you find orange wires. I wanted that to be visible so that we can explain to people what it is that they're going to see out in the field. And the amount of money that they had in wires on those carts, dude, that was a couple of grand just in the wiring that they had there. We talked about them cutting conduit and doing all that. And then you saw all the rows of conduit that they had. It was just absolutely amazing. The other thing, they had the breaker box. And then we got there and I'm like, man, we need that intermatic timer there so that we can explain to people how to set up that variable speed pump there. And they went out right then and there. Brian jumped in his truck, went out, got the intermatic boxes, brought them back, set them up, and then the low voltage boxes as well. That was one of my favorite stations because it was all there. But you have everything there, all the tools, everything. And just to watch a lot of the pool pros go through, and you can tell that they were excited. You could tell that it's not one of those where you have to learn when you're out on the field, where somebody's teaching you and you're kind of looking over the shoulder and you don't get to do it. But here it was the true hands-on of I'm doing everything and being able to walk me through. And then John, of course, was teaching some of the classes, which was absolutely great. I was just watching John and covering everything, right? Like the breakers and all the safety aspects and all of that was just absolutely.
He's like a drill sergeant.
He was
yelling at him, spits flying.
I know. I went to say something and he's like, shut up, move out. You're not doing this. And I'm like, whoa, bro, I just wanted to let him know that the little fitting fell on the floor. And he's like, out. And I'm like, damn. You're on mute, my friend.
I know. I'm trying to cut down on the editing for Kevin.
See, Kevin, we got nothing but love for you, brother.
Look, I'm all suited up. I'm ready to go as if I never even missed a podcast. Janie told me, she's like, you're not going to make 2 in a row. And I'm like, I know, I got to hurry.
But the weirdest thing of all is that just in that short amount of time that you came from outside and back on camera inside, your beard is blacker. And I don't know what you did.
See, that's what I'm all perfect, somewhat put together. She was giving me cues. You look awkward because I'm using the iPhone. I don't have the station set up. So I'm on the iPhone. She's like, dude, you look awkward, bro. Just sitting there. She's all, move up closer to the camera. And I'm like, okay. And that's who I was conversating back and forth with. But hopefully I'm okay.
Here you got, look, blacker and groomed.
That's my boy Maddie out there. Since I'm here and I interrupted, nobody's asking me anything of what I'm feeling right about the boot camp. I want to put my 2 cents in. I thought those carts were just off the charts, right?
Let's back up. Tell us how you think Friday went.
I think Friday went amazing. You know what I liked about this was this. We wanted to do a training, right? And the primary focus of the training was hands-on, creating a hands-on approach or type of education that was nothing like anything else in the industry. Sure, there's a lot of other hands-on trainings that are very good that other manufacturers put on, but when it comes to a complete all-around training where a technician could walk in and not just necessarily learn about one specific product or one type of automation, but have the ability to walk away and learn how to do multiple things. I don't know of another one, and that was one of the reasons why we wanted to create this. Hands-on training was supposed to be like the spotlight of the 2 days, which took place on Saturday, but I have to say that Friday, man, it's tough when you have, let's say, it's like opening for the main act. You go to a concert and you're going to see somebody and then you have an opener. And the opener isn't necessarily the one that people come for or aren't really looking forward to, but more they're looking for the main event or the headliner. And I thought that's what the hands-on approach was, or the hands-on training was going to be. And I think that was amazing. So the classroom style was something that maybe people weren't quite as excited about, but I truly believe that especially Terry, man, he really knocked it out the park. He was in his element. And when we asked Terry and we talked to him, everybody, including Steve and Hayward, were saying, hey, look, we want to reinvent the way we do our trainings and communicate this information to people so that they're able to absorb it or make it into more than just a PowerPoint. And I think a training is kind of the dry eyes commercial. I'm dating myself, clicking on the thing, and then you're just going through line by line by line. That was nothing like what people experienced there. And I think the classroom style training almost stole the show there, because listening to Terry talk about basic water chemistry and then him taking it to the next level on the final class, just his way of talking about it, his delivery, the stories that he told, I'll forever remember the guy at the Western show that he was talking about that was walking across the street and that was doing these crazy wild acts and how he related that to water. And he told a story and it was compelling and it grabbed people's attention and it was very informational. And then after that, we had Steve, right, who's going up there talking about ozone of all things. And he found a way to make ozone sexy and just to sound really cool. And I can't tell you how many people after the class, they walked away going, they ran immediately to the warehouse and they went and picked up the bulb, picked up the ozone unit and said, I want one of these and I'm going to sell these and I'm going to start putting these in on my route. That to me means that it was impactful, right? There was change that was happening there and people were having epiphanies and light bulbs were going off in their heads and they were seeing the benefit of the newer technology out there and how ozone can work with them. And now, especially since it's so much more affordable now and the lack of maintenance that's needed in order to keep them running optimal, I just thought it was amazing. And then I think the Blueray class was pretty cool too. I had fun. I had a good time doing that, even though you cut me short. You tried to cut me short.
Did you finish it?
Almost finished. No, not even close, dude. I don't even think I got through 2 slides. And I'm telling Janie, I'm like, well, I'm there. I'm only going to talk for about a half hour. Okay, I'm going to try to get through this and get what I need to do and get it done. And boy, man, I was like not even 2 slides into it and you're already there. I'm getting flashbacks from the Western where you're looking at the time clock or looking at your watch and doing that. And finally, it got to the point. Zach, I don't know, were you there? Were you listening when I was doing the class?
And he let me in at the end.
He let you in at the end where he pissed me off so much. I said, you know what? I'm going to give myself 5 more minutes because I can.
I saw that.
Dude, I'm like, dude, I got so much more I got to say.
It didn't help.
I didn't help. And I was
You
like,
were
oh,
so
I gotta
far
wrap
gone.
this up.
You had 20 minutes to go.
I know. You know what happened? And I think I ended it well when I thought, boom, the light bulb went off in my head. And I said, hey, Pullman University, right? Because the rest of the class is there. So I think it worked out well. And I had a great time teaching it. And I love sitting there talking and interacting and exchanging questions and answers and real life situations and how to apply it in real life opposed to just talking about what it is and what it does. It was just awesome. And it was great. And I loved having all those energy drinks and coffee. You were an amazing
barista.
Yes, you are, Edgar. And you know what? Not only do you make great coffee, but you are very attentive. You almost feel bad going, oh, I have to ask Edgar for another coffee, right? Because you have to sit there and he goes through this whole ritual. He sits there and he blesses each coffee bean and he checks. He sifts through it and makes sure that they all have consistency and they're the same grain and checks for color and smell. And then temperature needs of the water needs to be at a certain thing. And then the milk has to have so much air in it. It was pretty amazing to watch. And it's a whole thing he goes through. It takes 10 minutes to make a friggin' espresso or coffee. And you would think that he would tire of it, but he sat there and he would constantly come and go, hey, Mama, do you want another coffee? Or John, do you want another coffee? And I'm like, sure. I never said no. Every time he said yes. And I probably had 15 double espressos along with 4 monsters and 10 5-hours. It was quite the event.
I knew he was back there when I was looking for him because I would hear that like thump on the table back there. And I'm like, oh, he's making this.
It got to the point where I was making espresso drinks for like an hour and a half back there because people started to find out. And then it was funny because you would see them. The ones that caught on were like Chris's guys. And one of them came by and he's like, hey, can you hook me up with the coffee? And then I'm like, sure. So I made him a coffee. And then he went and sat down. And then Chris starts looking at me from the corner like, bro, what about me? And I'm like, you want one? And he's like, yeah. So I make him one. And then I'm like, come out and get it. I'm not taking it to you. And then all of a sudden people started to figure out. And next thing they'd come around the corner and they're like, hey, man, you making espresso drinks? Because you make me one. So I had the espresso machine going for like an hour and a half. It was just a great time. Every aspect of it. Just being able to hang out with people, being able to have them over at Zach's place, being able to see the value of what they were getting, right? The knowledge, the education, the brotherhood, the sisterhood. It was all of it. It was just amazing.
And they truly liked it, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I can sort through the bullshit. Trust me. when you have a conversation with somebody, like somebody invites you over to their house and they cook you a dinner and you're sitting there, you're eating it. Oh, it's great. You know what I mean? Dinner's great. I love it. Enjoy it. And you're sitting there trying to stomach it down, right? Your eyes are tearing. You know what I mean? You're getting ready to choke on the next bite and you're struggling, and you can tell that somebody doesn't really like it. But everybody there was like just so pumped up and excited because we were worried. Let's not kid this. We were worried. This was our first one. We're putting in all this work. All the vendors, that all the work that they did, and we're trying to teach all this education. And we have people that are flying in from all over the country, right? That are taking time, even though it was a free class. It wasn't free because time is money. And we talk about that, right? Our time is very valuable. And to take 2-3 days out of your busy schedule in the middle of your work week, and then not only take money away that way, but also take time away from your family, that's important to it. We understand how important it is. And it's a heavy weight on our shoulders because we respect that and understand that. So we had a lot of pressure, I felt, because I wanted people to be happy with what we had to offer. And I feel that we got nothing but great positive feedback. And I know us being who we are, we're tough on ourselves. And there's some things I think that we can fix and we can change. More comfortable seats, maybe tables, little nitpick stuff that we saw, we figured out, and then some other fine tuning when it comes down to the training. But that's the reason why we did this, so that we can take this and then we can create an even better one at the international show. And then all the other ones we have to come. We got people asking us if we're going to be doing it in different places across the country. And I don't see why we don't.
So I've already gotten a couple calls today from people saying, where's the next one? Where are you going to do that? I haven't broken this to you guys yet, but we're already looking at probably either February or April of next year. So we'll do November, probably February. We're still trying to figure out the Western. But what I love so much is we push about creating that positive space, that safe space for everybody. And it happens a lot at shows where people go and they have to ask questions and they're afraid to ask that. And what I saw at this event was a lot of the experienced pool pros stopping what they were doing to answer questions and help people to the side that had less knowledge. And I'm talking about everything. I'm talking about, I saw experienced pool pros giving the new guys tips on how to change the pump seals. I saw it on stripping wires. Inside the Hayward class, I saw some guys that probably had never stripped wires before, and the people next to them stopping and showing them exactly how to do it. And so that's the part of this event that I loved, is that we talk about creating this environment. We talk about creating this space. You can't just talk about it and expect people to just automatically do it. It has to be natural. It has to be organic. And I was super, super excited to see that. It was just absolutely amazing. The other thing I want to talk about here is David Jones is on here, and David was the trainer for Hayward. David, you were just absolutely amazing. And him and I jumped on a call today. And what I love, Zach John, is that he's already thinking, how am I going to take this to the next level from the education part? We're going to teach a salt system class. How can we cut wire? How can we show them how to do that? How could we make it even more interactive than it already is? And I got super excited because it's like people are starting to see the vision that we have of how this education needs to happen and how it needs to move forward in order for the industry to get better, right? We just want the pool pros to be successful. And so I'm super excited of that part of it and everybody helping each other.
We finished that show, even though it was a little hectic ending, having to leave. I felt, like I was saying earlier, we had a lot of pressure on us. But after that show was done, or midway through Saturday, I was like, wow, okay, this happened, and it happened well. And I'm tickled pink, right? I went over it, and I cannot wait for the international show. I think it's going to be even better, if that's even possible, but I believe it will be. And all the other ones, I'm just thinking what we can do throughout the year, what other places in the country we can go out and do these. And people are listening. And look, I got a call from my Pentair rep today, and she brought it up. She talked about the boot camp, and she was saying, oh yeah, I saw that, da-da-da-da. And she was asking if Pentair was going to be in on it. And I said, hey, we spoke to them. I go, we love to have anybody and everybody we can, and we'll be more than happy to talk to you guys to see if we can do something. But people are seeing and understanding it, and they're realizing, hey, look, this is the way of the future, and this is how we should be trading. And I just want to get one more point across and tag on to what you were saying, Edgar, about how the pool pros there were helping each other out. And there was that safe space, right, where nobody felt like they were being belittled or felt that one was better than the other, or the arrogance or the cockiness that you get at some of these trainings. I've been to multiple trainings over the years, and I sit back, I'm the quiet one, right? And I listen and I watch and I do what I'm supposed to do. But I also watch the knuckleheads, right? And the guys that are there that think that they're badass, right? You know what I mean? And they're talking about this and talking about that, going off and belittling the other guy because he had a question, or some person thinks that they should have known for whatever reason. And those were the types of things that motivated me to want to do this. Because I think when somebody new in the industry, or at least somebody who cares, even if they've been here for 10, 20 years, if we're not welcoming, or if we don't make them feel good about learning, then people are going to tend to shy away from it. And that's only going to hurt us. And the more ignorant we are, the worse we are as an industry. And not only did people help each other out, it was inclusive and everybody felt great about it. The networking that went on there, the relationships that were built with other pool pros from across countries, and the phone calls now that they're able to have. And when they have trouble with something or they have a question, they have another buddy now they can pick up the phone and call 5 states away that they didn't have previously, because they got to make friends and make our industry a little bit more tight-knit. It was just pretty badass. It was like a kumbaya. I couldn't have been more perfect, in my opinion.
Also, to let you know, we did get a rep that reached out to us from Canada and said, when are you guys doing one in Canada? I was with Zach, and I'm like, Zach, check this out. That's pretty awesome, John. We're going to have to go to Canada.
See, we should do it in Canada in August and December in Texas.
That's awesome. Let's see here, guys. I was so excited to show someone how to strip wire and use wire connectors. It's something that they will never forget. David Jones, absolutely. Agree 100%. So let's talk really quick about that Hayward setup. What did you guys think about that setup?
That was intense. You got to remember that for weeks, I'm getting the deliveries. So I'm getting all these pallets and these boxes, and I'm seeing these stands come in, and the imagination runs wild. Like, how is this going to all come together? It was impressive to walk in that room. Like, I was smiling ear to ear every time before we started. Everything's all set up in there at night, and I'm just like walking through and taking videos. And that was absolutely the coolest thing to see, is how they had a station for every person to actually sit there and get their hands on it and go through it. And my guys were super pumped, and it was cool to just watch and sit there and observe. And I'm seeing people go through, and they're very into what they were doing. They were very focused and engaged in it. And that was just super cool to see.
They came out swinging. They came out swinging for the fences. I thought that they were going to have maybe 6 stations and have 2 or 3 people per station. They came in and they had 20 stations. They had one for every single person. If you're a brand new pool pro and you go to a training and you walk into a room with 20 stations the way that they had it set up, imagine, John, your first days going into the pool industry, going to an event, and you got 20 stations set up like that. And they're like, no, you have your own station right here so that you can learn. I don't think they could have done a better job. They just took it to the whole next level.
That's what we asked for. They delivered. That's what's so beautiful about it. And it's an opportunity that a lot of those technicians never had before, to be able to open up and work on a panel and understand it, or be able to do it on their own and to do every portion of it. It's usually you go, okay, you guys are going to wire this, you're going to do that. One person does this or one person does that, and they don't quite understand it. But to be able to have, they had everything, man. They had LED lights, they had low voltage transformers, they had the automation there, they had actuators there, they had temp sensors there. They even had a salt system down there with water connected in a bucket. Everything was just there that they were able to use and understand. They had a pump there as well. So it was real life. Just take away the scenery, right? And as far as like equipment wise, everything was there that they were able to work on and use. And for many, and I spoke to them, that was the first time they ever touched or they ever had their hands on automation or on Hayward, because some people sometimes are brand specific and they only understand Jandy, or they only understand Penta, or they only understand Intermatic or Compo or whatever it may be. whatever their choice of automation is, because we're creatures of habit. And usually if we learn one thing, we understand one thing, we kind of stick to it because we don't want to make mistakes, or maybe we don't have the ability to learn because someone isn't around that understands Hayward systems or Jandy systems or Pentair systems. And I asked the technicians there, for a lot of people there, that was the first time they put their hands on a Hayward automation. And for a vendor standpoint, how brilliant is that, right? Kudos for them for doing that and putting on such a great show for them and education. Now, we have 80 people that are familiar now with everything Hayward. Come on now. Now think about that. And now you have 80 technicians, and especially newer ones that maybe haven't had or just getting into the repair. Who do you think the relationships that they built with the reps that were there, the people that helped them, and then now they understand that system? When it comes down to them doing installs, where are they going to go? Chances are they're probably going to say, hey, I'm comfortable now with Hayward. Or now Hayward might be when I'm offering a system. Instead of just doing Pentair or just doing Jandy or just doing whatever it may be, now people have options because they're more educated, and now they can offer solutions that are best for the customer, not best for them. And that's what we're trying to teach people. When it comes down to selling and installing equipment, we need to put the right piece of equipment in that backyard, not because of a particular brand or whatever. And I think people have learned more about Hayward and what they have to offer, so that when they go into the backyard, they can figure it out and go, hey, look, oh, okay, now I know I can do this and how Hayward works. And now this is a solution I didn't know was possible. So it's badass.
Absolutely. Just loved everything about it. And we did have one guy that came and he messaged me. He saw it on LinkedIn, sent me a message, and he works on remodeling homes and construction. And so he wanted to build his pool. And because he does construction and stuff like that, had some issues with the contractors that he was going to use. So he ended up building his pool on his own because he's in the industry and construction. He had the electrician, he had the plumber, and he sent me a message and said, hey, can I attend? This was literally Saturday, almost close to midday. And I'm like, we have a spot at 1:00. And he's like, I'll be there. And he shifted all that stuff around and he came down and he said, look, I'm looking to get into the industry. I'm building my pool. I did all that. He goes, I never had looked at Hayward. And he was honest. He said, the only thing that I have Hayward is the heater. The pumps are Pentair. I don't have an automation yet. And he goes, and after putting my hands in this automation and looking at this, he goes, I'm going with Hayward. I'm putting that in. And he joked around. He goes, man, a lot of the stuff was really going over my head because I'm brand new to this. He goes, but I've never been to an event like this where it's so much putting your hands in the panels and doing that type of education. Now I'm super really excited about really getting into the industry and starting to build some pools. Should we talk about what Andrew said?
I get weird. I get weird. I get weird with stuff. I get uncomfortable. It's not a bad thing. I just don't know how to act. But you can go ahead.
We haven't asked for permission from him yet, but a lot of...
He'd yell at me, though. He actually yelled at me and said, be quiet, John. He's all, learn how to take a damn compliment or something like that. I'm like, okay.
He did. He said, I know you guys don't know how to take a compliment, so shut up.
Like, okay. I'm like, all right, brother. Lay it on me.
The other thing that was crazy is there's the whole event, everything's going on. And then all of a sudden people are like, there's going to be a hurricane in California. And I'm like, what are people talking about? Oh, and John's like, oh, there's going to be tornadoes. Because we had a lot of people that came from California. And then all of a sudden everybody's getting all these cancellations. And did you notice that nobody was like, I'm leaving right now? Everybody's like, we're changing our flights, but we're going after this thing is over.
It's testament to, that was the out that anybody could have had if they weren't having a good time or they weren't getting anything out of it or learning, saying, oh, I have to attend to this. I have to head out now or I have to leave now. But that wasn't the case. People were like totally cool and chill with it. And they're like, I'm here to do this and I'm going to finish doing this training and it's important and I'm enjoying it. And then after this is done, I'll worry about getting back to my house. Where me, I was like, I got to roll.
Yeah, but that's because you had to come back. You're coming back tomorrow.
I know. I'm thinking, oh my God. I go, I'm coming back on Sunday. And if my flight gets canceled and I'm not able to get home until Tuesday, and then I got to turn around and leave again on Wednesday after a hurricane. And that means I'm going to have to file bankruptcy. I'm going to have to close down shop.
Now, let me ask you.
Yeah.
What time are you going to be here tomorrow?
I fly out at 3:45. I'm leaving at 5:30 in the morning tomorrow. I still have 9 more pools I need to take care of and like 2 service calls that I have to do. I'm hoping to have all that done by 1 o'clock, get home, jump in the shower. Everything will be packed. 2 o'clock, bail out. I'm flying out of Palm Springs. It's only about a half hour away from where I'm at. So I'll get to the airport like around 2:30, 2:45, and then board at 3 o'clock, 3:15. Unfortunately, it's not a straight flight anymore. Southwest is playing games, and I have to go to Vegas for a little bit. And then from Vegas, I go to Dallas. So I don't land till like 11:30 at night.
So you'll be doing the Instagram live from the bathroom in the airplane?
Probably from a slot machine at the Vegas airport.
Oh, that's awesome. What's going to happen is Zach is going to freak out and be like, I can't do the Instagram live tomorrow night. So I'm going to have to go find another co-host for tomorrow night. Actually, I'm going to confess, I have one lined up for tomorrow night.
You're just going to test me.
We're going to do the giveaways tomorrow.
So we're doing the giveaways tomorrow. We'll talk to a couple of the people. What I'd like to do is just do the Instagram live and talk to some of the people that came to the event and get their side of the story. So I did reach out to Michael. Michael's on here. So big shout out to Michael. I reached out to him today and I'm like, hey, what's going on, man? I was trying to see how chaotic his day was before I asked. And so I asked him and he'll jump on with us tomorrow. I'm sure Alex will be there in Francisco and stuff like that. It'll be an easy one. But I'm going to have Zach run it. I don't think I'm going to be on it. I'm going to have Zach run it tomorrow night.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
You're going to see that post, no Instagram live tonight.
Oh, that was awesome. Did you see John? He's like, oh, boy.
I'm thinking, oh, my God, I'm going to have to figure out a way if I can jump onto the live. Zach is going to...
I'm going to talk to the pilot.
Right.
I need you to land this plane for about an hour. Oh, that's awesome. Let's take a word from our sponsors. And when we come back, we'll get your final thoughts.
The Hyper Pole from Ultimate Pool Tools is a pool care pole designed by pool professionals for pool professionals, featuring precision crafted carbon fiber and stainless steel construction. Go to ultimatepooltools.com or Instagram at Ultimate Pool Tools. Pool pros have specific needs when it comes to general liability insurance. The SPPA program has you covered. With 3 tailored and customizable general liability options, SPPA makes it easy for pool pros to feel secure. Find out more and get covered at thesppa.com. Now available, Pool Invoice. Pool Invoice is a pool billing software created specifically for the pool service and repair industry. It's developed for our industry and only our industry. Pool Invoice is built with reoccurring billing in mind. You can print, email, text invoices, or even send via WhatsApp. You can add reoccurring or yearly charges, accept credits, and set up autopay. You can even see when customers have seen the invoice. It even has a customer portal where they can log in and see, print, and pay invoices. It has all your customers' information on one page, so you don't need to search through hundreds of invoices looking for the one you need. Just go to the customer profile and it's all at your fingertips. Created specifically for the pool industry, Pool Invoice. Now available at poolinvoice.com. Blueray XL is the power of minerals working for you. Reduce your overall chemical costs and labor up to 50% guaranteed. Whether you have 20 accounts or 20,000, Blueray XL's direct pricing and free shipping to the pool trade have you covered. Improving pool professionals' profit and work-life balance is what they do. Blueray XL, the real mineral purifier. Visit them at BlueRayXL.com.
Blueray all day.
AquaStar's new pipeline cartridge filters, available in 2 sizes, deliver top-notch hydraulic efficiency along with best-in-class filtration performance, approaching that of DE filters. Uniquely designed, open pleat spacing means 100% of the media square footage is usable. And these claims are backed by NSF test results. Designed with the pro's time and comfort in mind, the patented double-locking system improves safety and ease of access, making filter cleaners faster than ever before. Available now. Ask your supplier for pipeline filters today.
Natural Chemistry, a leader in specialty water care solutions for over 30 years, is proud to provide products that make pool service easier than ever before. Its unique enzyme formulations in Pro Series Pro Blend improve efficiency of your pool program while reducing frequency of filter cleaning and scum lines. Natural Chemistry is also well known for its wide variety of phosphate removal solutions that include a non-clouding formula in Phos-Free and extremely high-range removal with Pro Series Phos Remove or Phos-Free Max. Save time, save money, save work with Pro Series products. Stop sacrificing durability or efficiency with the help of Raypak's new Avia HD models that utilize NITEC, their exclusive industry-first technology. NITEC heat exchanger technology is Raypak's latest solution to superior strength and maximum efficiency when it comes to residential pool heating. With 900% more nickel compared to copper nickel in critical surfaces, NITEC creates an ideal surface to protect against scale formation and erosion without compromising on Avia's 84% thermal efficiency. Learn more at raypak.com/NITEC.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Pool Nation Live podcast with myself, your host, Edgar De Jesus, Mr. Zacharias, the pool boy, and the fastest knitter in the West, Mr. JJ Flawless. Gentlemen, let me get some final thoughts. Zach?
What I was saying was big thank you to everyone who participated and attended. And I truly hope that everyone had a good time, and I had an amazing time. And I'm going to go through this and try to put my thoughts into words, and I hope it makes sense. And what I love seeing is that you got to think that a lot of people don't have exposure to other people or peers in the industry. And I'm going to use my team, for example. And there's people that have come and joined our team that are new to the industry, and they haven't had the opportunity to build friendships and relationships with other people in the industry. And they say that one of the fundamental things that every employee or every person needs is a friend at work. And I have to believe that the same is true when it comes to the industry that you're in. And I think that everyone needs a friend in the industry to be able to relate with, because we're all in this together. We all face the same trials and tribulations. And it was really cool to see this group of people come together and see my team being able to engage with peers in the same industry and have those conversations and share their situations and whatever. And so to me, that was really cool. And I would love to see more of that, just bringing everyone together, because we all need friends, and we all relate on this. Hopefully that makes sense. And again, big, huge, massive thank you to everyone. And I can't wait to do it again.
Mr. JJ Flawless.
Boy, Zach, that was like almost poetic, dude. That was like...
I should have put the Friends song in the background. Everybody wants...
That's exactly what I was thinking. It was perfect, dude.
How do you follow that?
Yeah, how do I follow that, dude? That was... I'll just say ditto. I have already done my final thoughts before, and because I just jumped in, but I just wanted to make sure I got on and said thank you to everybody for sure. It was absolutely amazing. And everybody that played a part in it, everybody who participated, there were so many of you. Everybody gave 100%, right? They took it seriously, and we appreciate it, especially our vendors that came through for us. And there was just so many of them. You guys really knocked it out the park, and we cannot wait to work with you again, and look forward to many more. On the final note, I'm really excited about the Women's Summit. I know Jamie is like chomping at the bit. She can't wait to go, and she digs this stuff, and she's really into the classes that are going to be taught. She wants to hear Leanne get up there and see some of the other women in the industry, because she always enjoys that, because she's always around guys and she's always around me. And it's nice to talk to other women in the industry going through her struggles that she goes through as well as a woman. Looking forward to it. And then wish me luck tomorrow.
Good luck, my friends. We'll see you guys on Thursday. I'm super excited about the Women's Summit. I still have a lot of work to do tonight to finalize some stuff and kind of get that ready, but we'll be ready. We'll be ready by Thursday, and it'll be exciting to get out there and do some networking on Thursday night, and then be able to go in and do the women's event. I do want to take a quick second to thank everybody. It doesn't matter if it was just attending, if you were a sponsor, if you were just somebody that showed up to help. Everybody that showed up to the boot camp, it was, in my eyes, it was a success, but it was the success because I shouldn't do S's with this damn thing on. It's in my list. it was a success, but it was because of everybody. This was not a one person thing. It wasn't a Pool Nation thing. It wasn't an Edgar Zach John thing. It wasn't a Hasa thing. It was the collective effort of everybody coming together and everybody having the same passion. Everybody wanted the same result out of what we were doing. And that was just absolutely exciting. And so thank you for everybody that played any role in it. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. What's that, John? You're like, yep. So anyways, thank you to everybody. John, have a safe flight out here tomorrow. We'll put you to work early on Thursday. Mr. Zacharias, have a good evening. Hope everybody has a great night. Thank you, everybody, for jumping on here tonight and being on here. Mr. Benny is saying that wish I could have attended. We did miss you, Benny. We did definitely miss you out there, but we know that you're coming out for the women's event and that you're going to come and help with that. So that one is going to be very cool. David, thanks for everything. Everybody have a great night and catch us tomorrow night on our Instagram Live. Have a great one. Bye, guys.
See ya.
Thanks for listening to the Pool Nation podcast, a member of the Pool Nation family. You can listen to us live every Friday here at 9 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Central, and 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. You can find us at Pool Nation or PoolNationPodcast.com, on Facebook, or on Instagram at pool.nation. And to find more info about Pool Invoice, the billing software built specifically for the pool industry, go to poolinvoice.com. Before you go, this is what the pool industry has been waiting for. PoolmanUniversity.com. It's the first platform dedicated to learning the swimming pool service and repair industry. A pool service community where you can connect and find videos on business, service, water chemistry, and repairs. See you there at PoolmanUniversity.com.